Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV. I still remain your favorite podcaster, Olanrewaju Abodurin. And today I have Chris here on the podcast. Chris is back on the podcast, and Sammy is here also on the podcast. I mean, what more can I say? Chelsea scored 5-0 today, and you need to see how Sammy entered the studio today. I'll take the picture again and I'll post it on our Instagram page, so you see Sammy's outfit as a Chelsea fan. Anyways, guys, let me bring on the guys. I also have PIUS here. PIUS is on the line as always. Let me start with Chris. Chris, how far now you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Larry, good to be back on the Good Rush Football Podcast. And like I said to my good friend on my right, Sammy, Arsenal, the potential EPL champions. I'm here to rep.
All right, Sammy.
Yeah.
Chelsea scored 5-0 today.
How?
I mean, remaining one goal to equal the tally of the one Arsenal gave you guys 6-0.
Yeah. It's good to see Chelsea play. I mean, they've been playing good football all season, but the goals, were just, they were not there. But it's good to see, the result of, the good football that these kids play. And, I think that just attests to what
Sammy don't go emotional now.
What the future, what the future brings for Chelsea.
Sammy don't go emotional now with this 5-0 right now.
It's good to be back after 5-0 win, okay? Yeah.
All right, and of course, PIUS, how far are you there?
Very fine, Larry. Good to be on the podcast once again.
All right, let's go. We'll be starting from one place and we'll be starting in Germany. And guys, during the past few weeks, there's been a lot of movement for coaches. There's been a lot of rumors for coaches, And I want to start with I want to start in Germany, and I'll be starting with Bayern Munich. Last week we got the news that Ralf Rangnick, rejected the job at Bayern Munich. A few days ago, before that announcement, I think it was 89% done that Ralf Rangnick would be the coach. But he rejected that club. Bayern Munich as an institution, coaches rejecting them. Let me go back to when they wanted Alonso. Alonso did not accept the job. He chose to stay with Bayern Leverkusen. They talked to Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann said, guys, you guys are the one who fired me. I would rather stay with the German national team than coming with this Bayern Munich, because there's a lot of backroom dramas. They call them FC Hollywood. Bayern Munich, they call them FC Hollywood. So there's a lot of backroom dramas at the affairs of Bayern Munich. And again, they said Ralf Rangnick, the last job which was famous, which this man had, was the job for Manchester United. And we all know the story. I don't want to go there.
That was a caretaker job.
This man is the coach of the Austrian national team, but he rejected to be the coach of Bayern Munich. Why is one of the biggest institutions in football, being torn down? Chris, let me start with you.
Bayern Munich, I think, is not just about it being torn down by these coaches. I think, for me, they have an administrative issue, not just football-wise. And Rangnick turning them down, like he said in one of his interviews, he said, I didn't turn down Bayern Munich. I'm old now. I want to remain with the Austrian national team. That the Bayern institution right now has a lot to deal with, and I'm not sure I can handle that at my age. So he said he didn't turn down Bayern Munich, But again, that's Rangnick for you. But we also saw Roger Smith, Benfica coach, who's also German,
right.
He also claimed that he didn't also turn down Bayern Munich, but he also just wants to remain with Benfica. So these coaches are coming out to say, we are not turning down Bayern Munich, because Bayern is a big club. But we just want to remain where we are, which I see with the issues that they have administratively, with their presidents and all of that. So I think for me, I think it's quite toxic right now. I think
very toxic.
I think they have a toxic environment within their admin area. But again, Tuchel, if you listen to what Thomas Tuchel said he might go the way of Xavi, you know.
We'll still be going to Thomas Tuchel matter right here because I know I have a Tuchel section for this podcast, so we'll be talking about Thomas Tuchel in a bit. Sammy, is this a surprise to you that coaches are just turning down the Bayern Munich job? This is one of the largest institutions in soccer, and coaches right, left, and center, they've been turning the job down. They don't want it. They don't want to put themselves in this kind of position. What do you make of this?
Like you said, it's a toxic relationship, at Bayern Munich, and experienced coaches that after results won't want to dive into such environment to build anything, especially when you have a goal at hand. So like experienced coaches like Rangnick is like he likes to challenge. He wants to bring his own type of
ideas,
game, his ideas. So experienced coaches like that, I want that opportunity to be able to be in charge of things. But when you have an administration like the current Bayern Munich, you can tell how things are going for the past couple of years down there. The fact that they're actually thinking of rehiring Nagelsmann is a shock to me because of how they treated him initially. But then that speaks so much to the toxic relationship down there. So, yeah.
Well, PIUS, we've been talking about Bayern Munich all through the course of the season. Their performance. They either they are cold today, they will be hot tomorrow. And then last season, we all know they didn't deserve to win the league. Yes, they won it based on Dortmund, who chose not to win the Bundesliga.
Are you talking about Arsenal's brother?
Yeah. And again,
the Butlers.
I disagree with that.
Butlers.
They didn't deserve to win.
They won the league because Dortmund chose not to.
No, because they persevered.
All right.
No.
Okay. So, but again, this season they started. They got one of the best striker in the world in Harry Kane. They got the best defender in Italy in Kim Min-jae. And also firing Nagelsmann couple of games into the into the season, and then hiring Thomas Tuchel to lead you. Talking about last season, they hired Thomas Tuchel last season to fix what Nagelsmann couldn't do, based on the fact that they said it's not the future for the team. His ideas is not what the Bayern Munich hierarchies, player powers and the likes, and it was fired based on the fact that his former employee, that's Oliver Kahn and Sarjanovic, they are no more there again. Right now, fast track to like 5 weeks ago, Bayern Munich announced that Thomas Tuchel would not continue with them. It's looking like if Thomas Tuchel should just win the Champions League, if you are Thomas Tuchel, PIUS, would you take the job again?
I think the director of football at Bayern, talking about Abel, he was asked this particular question, I think, about a few days ago, and he said no chance. No chance, regardless of what Bayern will do in the second leg against Real Madrid. Even if they win the Champions League, I don't think Thomas Tuchel will remain as the head coach of Bayern. But to answer your question directly, I think the only reason why some of these coaches might not want to take the job at this point in time is because of the uncertainty surrounding some of their key players. Some players don't know if they would leave at the end of the season or remain. Alfonso Davies is rumored to be headed to Real Madrid. Rumors came out the other day that Musiala also might be following suit. We also hear that Muller might not extend, and some of their key players in that squad do not know where they stand at this point in time. So there are a lot of uncertainties surrounding that particular club. I think it's more or less like a poison chalice. If it will take a very big manager to control not only the dressing room but also the hierarchy right there at Bayern, because you must be ready to dance to their tune as a manager, and that's why some of these managers have been having issues with those are the top up to date. I honestly will say Thomas Tuchel is a bad manager. Neither would I say Julian Nagelsmann is also a bad manager. That's not also me saying he will not get a top manager because they are a top club. Going into every season in the Champions League, you regard them as favourites to win the Champions League, regardless of their form in their
domestic league. Yeah.
I think they are that big, and yes, some of these managers. In fact, I was surprised they were being linked to Ralf Rangnick because I mean, what has Ralf Rangnick want to merit being named the manager of Bayern Munich? Trust me, if Thomas Tuchel had not won the Champions League with Chelsea, the Super Cup, Club World Cup with Chelsea, I'm not sure Bayern would have looked his way. I'm not sure they will have hired him. But regardless, I was surprised at the name of Rangnick, and I'm also happy that he wouldn't be taking the job because I see nothing he was going there to do. So I think they will still get a top manager. The manager is who I don't know at this point in time, but I mean they are that big, they can attract the best of the best around the world.
Well, talking about getting a manager, there's a rumor which broke last night from one of my sources. I would like to let me. That's what you get when you listen to Good Rush Football podcast on AudioMac and also on Spotify. And if you are watching right now, this might be the second time you are hearing it. There's likely to be a swap. I'm not saying this is going to be 100% of Erik ten Hag to Bayern Munich and Thomas Tuchel to Manchester United. I'm not saying that's going to be 100%. But guys, let's move on anyways. So
just a quick one.
Okay.
Getting to the Bayern team, the Bayern club, you need to find a way to do away with the executives, people like Uli Hoeneß.
This man has been there for like 30-something years,
Exactly.
since 1970-something, as a player, a former manager, and
So this guy, they need to step aside. They need to step aside for Bayern to move on. and they're not controlling a lot of things. They churn out statements here and there without even understanding how these things are done. This is not 1970s, 1980s. Things have moved. You need to give these guys the chance to run the club.
Right.
Just like what's happening in Barcelona. Allow the coaches to run their thing. Don't meddle into the affairs of these coaches. And that's the issue with Bayern Munich and the hierarchy. They get involved with the coaches' decisions. Whatever happens there, they want to get involved. I remember the period of Kimmich and all that, Goretzka.
Right.
Why allow the coaches to run these things? So with Tuchel, he said, he's not here to huru, I can still stay if anything happens. So it's a contract. That was his own statement. It's a contract, so anything can happen,
happen,
So just like I say, he could do a Xavi and stay back. Or if he leaves, who knows, Thomas Müller might just be the next Xabi Alonso.
Let me chip in something based on that Ralf Rangnick issue, the board and Uli Hoeneß and then Hansi Rummenigge, those hierarchies of Bayern Munich. I think when they spoke with Ralf Rangnick, Ralf is known for developing young talents.
Yeah.
Nurturing them. That is what it's been known for. So I think they are looking at a situation whereby I think we can get Ralf. So when we get Ralf, we will keep deciding, it will keep nurturing. Then in a year or two, in 2 years' time, we can bring in our man. And Ralf saw that picture before signing that deal that it's like, this is what you guys want me to do. I want to be in charge, but he's never going to get that with Bayern Munich. Ralf Rangnick would never get that.
Why did they bring in Thomas Tuchel into that conversation?
So, for Tuchel, they looked at it that Alonso is gone. Nagelsmann stuck with the German national team. Rangnick is not taking the job. And this man is just one game to the final of the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah.
He's a winner as well. What if we turn our backs and say, Tuchel, can you stay with Bayern Munich? And I bet you what is going to happen. I know Thomas Tuchel. He's he's very
arrogant.
He has this ego.
He's very arrogant. Yeah.
I think he's going to say, well, you guys have made a very good point. and I'll say no.
Yeah,
I'm not taking this
I don't
job.
think you accept it.
Or if he's going to accept it, he'll put his conditions down.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure the Oleones of this world and the Rummenigge will take that condition, because this institution is bigger than a coach coming
By
in.
the way, he's considering his own.
Do you guys remember the way Ancelotti left the club?
Yeah.
We all remember the way Pep Guardiola left the club. We all remember the way. I mean, this is Bayern Munich. I mean, they believe,
Same cycle.
they've been winning this league for 11, 12 years. We can still do it again. Let's just bring in a coach and win us this league, and at the end of the day, we know we'll get to at least the quarter-final of the Champions League and the semi-final of the Champions
And
League.
they'll probably win the Champions League.
And they might probably win the Champions League.
Yeah.
Pius, if you are Tuchel right here, you have the ball in your hands and they came to you. I mean, we are all humans. Our ego speaks. If you are Tuchel, would you consider staying with Bayern? Okay, let me stay. That's having no shame. Would you want to stay, Pius?
Well, considering the fact that some of the big clubs around,
Because they announced this Tuchel departure last month, that he's not going to stay. So why would you now come back to me and tell me, we looked at it now and Thomas Tuchel, would you stay? I personally won't stay because I have my ego.
But Thomas Tuchel is open to it too.
Yeah.
Pius,
He's open
let's
to it.
hear from you.
I mean, looking at the situation or circumstances surrounding that particular announcement. So right, they've not actually told us that he's going to be staying. We're just,
Exactly, we're just being hypothetical,
So
here.
looking at the surroundings or circumstances that surrounded that statement at that time, I think it was justified to have made that statement that Thomas Tuchel will be leaving at the end of the season, because give or take, Bayern were not doing well. They were losing games and they had already lost the league to Bayer Leverkusen.
But
I mean, the league
Pius, don't think that was too
They
quick a
have
decision to
other
make.
cup competitions, and they probably, of course, will be justified for making such a bold statement. But then, if he eventually wins the Champions League or gets to the finals of the Champions League, I mean, it will also be justified, because that way it would have saved the season, it would have saved face. So if I were Thomas Tuchel, looking at the parameters in front of me, also looking at the fact that as a big manager, I do not have the liberty to join any big club at this time. For Real Madrid, they are settled with their manager. Barca have a manager. Manchester City, all these clubs do have managers, and I don't think they are leaving at any point in time. And of course, that leaves me with being jobless if I leave PSG. If I leave Bayern, I think I would reconsider and I would stick with them, because at this point in time, I can't go lower than where I am, and of course where I should be. So as a big manager who wants a big club, and I know fully well that I won't get a bigger club if I leave Bayern, I think I would reconsider and I stick with them.
Sammy,
Yeah.
would you stay?
Personally,
Because this is the Bayern Munich that fired Nagelsmann while he was doing skydiving. They sent his. He was not even aware that he's been fired. He saw the news on the paper, and then there's a lot of. This is the Bayern Munich that even the board, they are saying it in the press. This is not hidden that Thomas Tuchel is not a coach that develops talent. Is not a coach. I mean, they've been saying trash about this coach, of which we know Thomas Tuchel's flaws as well.
Yeah.
But coming out to say this, they are not hiding it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the press that are cooking this, is the journalists that are cooking this. This is directly coming out from the Bayern executives that Thomas Tuchel is this, Tuchel is that, and Tuchel also has been firing back. There's been a lot of back and forth with both the coach and the executives. And now you are now coming back to me as the manager that, okay, you're taking us to the Champions League final, would you still take the job? Come on, I have my ego.
yeah, Bayern has been on every, their past coaches. They're considering Hansi Flick as of the moment too. De Zerbi, Sebastian Hoeneß, and Hansi Flick. They're considering those options as well as of this moment. Like that just shows you like the fact that he's considering rehiring your past coaches that you just fired out of without any valid reason. You know, like these were coaches that were about to win the league, and you just took their job away. You know, it goes back to that point about how toxic the relationship is. And then to be very honest with you, I can't seem to wrap my hands around why that is. But, you know, if I was in Tuchel's shoes, I wouldn't take that offer.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have the ties. We have a tie right here. I mean, it's now 1-2 right here. Okay, PIUS will take the job. Sammy won't take the job. And I personally will take the job. Chris. Ralf Rangnick. What's his name? The former... No, not Tuchel. Their former coach.
Nagelsmann.
Not Nagelsmann.
Flick.
Hansi Flick was not fired. He left for
Yeah.
the German national team after winning the treble. We're looking at it that they might likely turn to him to get his job. You know, get his job back. I'm not sure. But again, let me put it to you, Chris. If you are Thomas Tuchel and the board are coming back to you, Chris, this is Bayern Munich. You are taking us. I mean, even if you are out of the semi-final of the Champions League, will you take this job?
It's a very tough one. It will be tougher if I don't win the Champions League. Right?
Because I'm so sure all these toxic traits that has been happening will still come back.
No, definitely. Which
next
is
season
which is why I
if
said
Bayern starts dropping points and start
which is why I said to be
woefully
tougher.
again.
Which is why I said to be tougher if I don't win the Champions League.
Yeah.
But
And all the trash you've talked about me, all the trash you've talked about me as a coach will still come back next season if I start losing points and I start dropping points as well.
No, but guess what? If I win the Champions League, right, I'll have a better stand to negotiate.
Okay.
Or rather renegotiate. You understand what I'm trying to say now? Because I'm a Champions League winner, you know that I'll be sought after in Europe. So I can call their bluff in that circumstances. But if I don't win it, and I look at, man, is there any potential club out there that I can go to? Is Man U available? Is Newcastle available? You know, is Monaco available? Which clubs can I go? Can I go to Italy? Probably, you know, Bologna. Oh, with Thiago Motta move to a bigger club or something like that, you know. I'll weigh my options. I'll get my managers to look at other areas, see if I can get involved with, right? But if not, man, I'll remain. If I don't win the Champions League, I will remain.
I think the Champions League
So
is a huge
we're
factor.
saying you win the Champions League with Bayern Munich. Would you still stay?
Yes.
You stay, right?
Yeah, I stand by it.
All right.
Yeah,
This is Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush
Bayern
Football
Munich
TV.
for UCL.
And then you're listening to the guys. If you are listening to us on Audio Mac and Spotify, we say a very big thank you to you. And also you can watch us on YouTube as well if you are listening on the audio podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, let's talk about the other side of another side of the coaches, because today I want us to start with the coaches, because there's been a lot of unsettlement with coaches in Europe. Let's move to Spain, where there is pain for one club, Barcelona. You know, it was a double disaster on Saturday where Barcelona lost to Girona 4-2, and also the same day surrendering the La Liga title to Real Madrid.
And the same day,
Real Madrid now have 36 La Liga. Congratulations to Real Madrid and Real Madrid fans. But again, this is a big embarrassment to Barcelona. Losing home and away to Girona. I mean, come on, you're supposed to be the big boys in Catalonia. Girona is from Catalonia. But again, you are losing to Girona. That shows everything that Girona is bigger than Barcelona with this performance. I mean, guys, let's hear from you, Sammy. Let me give it to Sammy.
Wow. You know,
I mean, the real question here is the real question here is, you know, how much is to stay? I mean, last week we got the news that Xavi will be staying with Barcelona, and he announced that he's going to be staying, despite all the rumors despite all the news that he said he wasn't going to stay at the end of the season. This is the last, part of the season. And fast forward to 4, 5, 6 matches before the last 3 matches disaster, Barcelona have been excellent. So there's this conversation that, oh yeah, it was because Xavi announced that he was leaving. That was why. The problem is still there for Barcelona fans if they can see it. If you're a Barcelona fan, you should. You realize the problem is still there. You might be winning the matches, like winning 4, 5, 6 matches consecutively, but again the problem came back. Xavi is staying at Barcelona.
Yeah.
PIUS, is he a good one for Barcelona or a good one for? As a fan, which one would you go for?
Well, for fans of Barca, I think they should be excited as Xavi is staying. I, for one, I actually didn't like the fact that he was going to leave because, for the sake of continuity, I think it's good for Barca. Changing coaches would mean starting afresh. And if you look at the crop of the young players at that particular club, you will say they probably understand this coach better, and of course, I would want him to continue. But for the club, I think, like Randy mentioned, for anyone who has actually, in fact, I was having a conversation with a friend earlier today. We were talking about Barca, and I recalled last year when the Champions League draws were made. In fact, we were 2 games in the Champions League. Barca had already won Antwerp, and I think it was FC Porto from home in the group stages. And then he is a Barca fan, and it was all over me. Barcelona are favourites to win Champions League, and I told him Barcelona might have won 2 games into the Champions League, home and away.
With one of the easiest group in the competition.
It's Canada. But they cannot be termed as favourites. But it was all over the place and talking about how Xavi has transformed the team. This team is growing. I think there's progression. But then, unfortunately, Barcelona cannot spend as much as they used to spend. I would have said, buy quality players and help this manager.
PIUS. Let me hold you there. PIUS, let me hold you there. The thing is this, guys. Xavi announced. I want us to still stay put with the announcement that he was leaving and later staying back. He came out to the press. He said, "I'm tired of this job. The pressure is too much. The expectation is too much. Day by day activities from journalists, from the fans, is too much. I didn't feel love. I'm not loved by everyone. I want to leave. At the end of the season, I'm going." What has changed? Why are you now staying? Chris, Sammy, do you want to help me out? Yeah. We'll still talk about the improvements, the performance and everything. But as a coach, this is your 2nd year in top flight football. You won the league last season, and this is your 2nd year. Definitely, the Ancelottis of this world, the Pep Guardiolas of this world, the Nagelsmann of this world, the club of this world, they've gone through this process. They've gone through scrutiny. They've gone through fans and press and journalists. Going back and forth with them, and you came out telling the whole world that you don't want to continue. And again, when the club had to come back to you that, would you stay? And you have to choose. Is there anything that has changed within that time? I don't understand. That's what I want to get.
For me, the biggest thing, just like the case of, Tuchel, I think what Xavi did was he waited. He looked at the situation I had. And he's like, what is the possibility of me getting a job elsewhere at a very top or big club?
He wasn't going to
but no one is saying you should leave at the first place. You came out to say you pressure. How would you be able to manage that pressure next season when Barcelona start dropping points next season again? Because this is what we've been saying. When the season starts, why are we not going to go back to that same spot where we were?
Which is what Sammy is trying to say. It's the same.
It's the same issue that's repeating. This for in Bayern Munich's situation,
right?
It's the same
He's
thing
replicating himself in Barcelona.
So prior to this, there were a lot of options. If this was 5 weeks away, he said this 5 weeks away. 5 weeks away, 5 weeks ago, Chelsea were in a very bad spot. A couple of teams are in a very bad spot, and he was looking at, this might be a legit options. Let me go out to the press.
You can never coach Chelsea
and say this. not only Chelsea. But I was just giving examples.
I know. I'm just
yeah.
He doesn't have the credentials.
But and then now situations have changed.
Because you've won like 7, 8 matches.
Yeah.
You have a good run.
Yeah.
And you feel the love is back.
Yeah.
If he had not announced that he was going to leave, Do you think the pressure won't be much when he lost to PSG? When he lost?
Yes.
I mean, that is what I want to get, Chris.
So
I need someone
I
to help me
totally
out.
agree with you that as in.
We're still going to talk about the performance, the improvement he's brought.
When
he's the legend
he
of the
said
club.
was leaving,
but when you come out to tell us you are leaving, you will not feel loved. The pressure is much. The expectation is high. The fans, the journalists are saying a lot about you. You are being disrespected. You need to.
Larry is taking this personal. I think this is personal.
At the press conference, he said he's not being loved. He said the pressure was much.
Xavi Hernandez is coaching one of the
biggest institution in the world.
Not just a club, institution.
That is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So now,
you are just a year or two to being in a top flight coaching job, and you are coming out in the middle of the season with all this. What are you telling the players? Are you not that loose?
So instead, coming back was just like going back to your vomit, which you shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Stay to the end of the season. Don't take the job back. Move on. If it's to go back to Middle East, go back to Middle East and continue enjoying your money and all of that. Than coming back to Barca.
I mean,
do you understand?
But then now, he reviewed it. It's like...
No, because what are you reviewing? It's not that Barca were fantastic. Now, let's be sincere to ourselves. All the games that mattered this season, Xavi lost out.
Yeah.
All the games that mattered.
Yeah.
So what has he done in Barcelona?
I mean, he has done some good things. He's the legend.
That was fluke, as far as I'm concerned. That was a fluke.
Chris,
that was a fluke, as far as I'm concerned.
We don't want to go there
now,
today.
Going back to that scenario, sorry, just a minute. See, we all know, if you follow Barca very well, you realize that Deco has a lot of influence in that team. You know that. The issue he had with Rafinha and all of those were from... See, there's a lot... See, when the executives start influencing coaches' decisions, it won't last.
Yeah. And then I also think, they're still in a transitional phase.
I understand.
Not for Barcelona. There's no transition phase in Barcelona.
No. Come on.
What are you transitioning?
Messi, you lost. So they're still in that phase.
Is Messi Barcelona?
Guys, let's be sincere now. Let's hear Pius' opinion on this. Because Pius, we've talked about Barcelona. Xavi is a legend of the club. He's one of the best player, that the game have, that we've witnessed, watching the game, is won the league with Barcelona. Is developing young talents, the likes of Pau Kubasi, Yamil Lamar, Famil Lopez, and the likes.
Those were compelling development.
He also came in a time where Barcelona, was struggling financially, and also are still struggling, and will still continue to struggle for more than 2 years. In 2 years' time again. But again, my own problem is this: why would you come out in the middle of the season when things were so hot? If you want to show us, you want to be with this team. Yes, this is the club of your life. This is the club you want. You don't come out and tell us you are leaving. Yes, everybody, goodbye, bye. You know you are leaving. But you coming back, it's going to be disrespected more next season. Watch out.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you leave right now and let everybody say bye? Barcelona, fool, I'm off. But for you coming back, there's going to be fire.
Nothing's going to change.
The board, we had a rumor that, when this announcement was about to make, there was this rumor that Xavi needs to, change some backroom staff, some members of his backroom staff. Yeah. If a coach is telling...
they actually agreed to it.
If... That is what I'm going... Guys,
approved,
if a management is telling you that this, and this should be done, and as a coach, don't you think there's going to be fire? Pius, please, help us out here.
Okay, so... first off, let's establish the fact that this guy is emotionally attached to FC Barca.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I totally agree.
Statement, he actually made a conclusive bet he wanted to leave. That was something from his heart. That was the way he felt at that point.
He was down. He was broken. We saw it. Yes.
That the board of directors at Barca, in fact, the president of Barcelona, had a closed-door meeting with him and had to convince him to remain at the club. Now, we're not at that meeting, and I'm very, very sure that what would have been tabled to him would be trying to play on his emotional intelligence. Let's not also forget that I started by saying he's emotionally attached to the club. Now, if for a player as big as Xavi, who is highly connected to Barca, it is very easy and that's why this situation is different from Thomas Tuchel's situation, because Tuchel in fact, he doesn't have any relationship with Bayern. So give or take, the decision might be very, very easy for him to let go. But for Xavi, it will be very difficult. If you put this, I think I would liken this to a Frank Lampard Chelsea situation. I remember last season when Chelsea were going through a torrid time. Chelsea lined up a couple of coaches to take over from Graham Potter. Those coaches were not willing to take the job. But Graham Potter, Frank Lampard came back. He came back not because he knew he was going to do something, but he knew, okay, this is my club. Emotionally, I'm attached to this club. I probably want to do something. So for players like that, I think emotionally, Xavi is attached to the club, and that's the reason why it was very easy for him to make. I don't know how easy or difficult it was, but I think that was exactly what the president would have.
So PIUS, are you saying he was emotionally blackmailed to remain at the club?
It's more like
PIUS.
a win-win situation.
PIUS, are you saying he was emotionally blackmailed to remain at the club?
No, I'm saying it's actually what would have, it will have played a big role.
All right, let me come in. This is what happened, guys. Let me come in. This is my own theory. Laporta, Deco, they looked at everything. Xavi already announced he was leaving. Okay, Laporta, Deco. Who do we have? Do we have the money to hire one of the best coaches in the league?
No, we don't.
Do we have the money?
No,
we don't have.
No.
Okay, Deco, what should we do? We saw Ralf Rangnick is not fitting into our destiny. If we should pay a coach 10 or 9 million a year, it might also be useful to a player. We've not met the one-on-one rule. Deco was like, I think we don't have. Okay, let's go to Team B. De La Masia. Yeah. Let's talk about Rafael Marquez. You see, okay, Deco, what do you feel? Laporta, the board. Okay, Deco, Rafael Marquez. Not really, because Xavi has been with this team and he has won a league. So why can't we just, this is Rafael Marquez, this is Xavi Hernandez. Let's go back to Xavi.
That would have been the new
I'm coming. This is my own theory. You understand? You get my point. You know where I'm going to. Yeah. So they're like, this is Rafael Marquez. We can't trust this one. This one had won us a trophy, and he's emotionally attached to the team. We know what we can say. Let's talk to him, and he's going to save us a lot of money, and he's also building something. Let's just talk to him and see if he's going to stay. Because this is very, very clear. Barcelona don't have that finance to hire a top coach. And if they have that coach in sight, they don't have, the philosophy of those coaches is one thing about Barcelona. There is also a pattern of play which Barcelona wants. But person will not get money.
Larry, let me take you on that. Rafael Marquez is also as baka as Xavi.
No.
Yes.
No. They are different.
Now I grew up watching Barca.
No.
I'm coming, guys. Okay. I know one is pure Catalan, right? Mm-hmm. And one grew up in that with Mexican and that, but he's Spanish right now.
Right.
Marquez, most of the guys that are in the team right now are Wood players.
They are from La Masia, they are from Team B.
From who has been their coach?
Rafael Marquez. But that is not the
I'm getting somewhere. I'm going somewhere. God bless you. So it will be easy, which is why I said that could have just been the new Pep Guardiola. Now, transforming what he had in the Barcelona B into the main team, bro, that will have changed a lot.
But that's going to be a very huge risk.
No, see, there is no risk that is not worth taking.
Xavi is attached to Barcelona.
Being attached does not mean you're good.
1 million times
being attached
more than Rafa Marquez.
The worst thing you can do in life is to use sentiment to do things.
No, this is not sentiment. Xavi is more of like a god.
He's not God, no.
His attachment with the fans, his connection with the board, his life.
Wait, do you know where Barcelona B is in the league?
This is financially related.
What are we talking about?
This is all financially related.
Yeah.
You can't take certain risks though.
Why not?
While you are poor.
No, which is why I said, when he said Xavi brought the likes of Lamine Yamal and Co. I said those were compelling decisions because if Barca had money, those players would never have come up. Yes or no?
Yes.
They would never have come up.
So you are.
So Kubasis and the Femins and the Lamine and the Bades and Co. would never have come up if they had the money.
Risk when you are poor.
Well, Pius, what happened if after 6 months or 5 games,
Marquez will still become the coach of Barcelona?
all this Xavi is going on, and then it turns everything.
That's the next Barca coach.
Everything goes south. What happens if after 5 games next season, or 2 months next season, everything goes south? Are we not back to square one again, Pius?
No, I honestly think the choice of Xavi remaining is the best decision for everyone. Again, like I mentioned, back to the Rafa Marquez situation. I don't think it's a risk worth taking.
Exactly.
Why?
You are handing over a squad to Barca in this age and time where Real Madrid are reinforcing with players of over 100 million. That means you are kissing everything that has to do with any title goodbye.
Yeah.
But that gamble was taken with Pep.
This
I know how it turned out.
With Xavi, you have one manager who won the league just last year, and then you have one manager who has pushed this team to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. That means there is progression, because in the last 2 years back to back, they were dropping off in the UEFA Champions League. If they've gone as far as the quarterfinals, that means there is progression.
Pius, just a quick one. Pius, hold your thoughts.
Go ahead.
If you're gonna build on that, it's just wise to allow that manager leave and then back him. To be fair, I think the reason why Barca are not really, I won't use the word challenge because I don't think they challenge for the La Liga this season. They were just there to make up the numbers. The reason why they actually didn't challenge much was because this manager has not been backed as the other managers. He's looking at the others in the league and it's like, come on, what am I doing here? You guys are just making me go through a lot without backing me with the necessary equipment. And I think if he's given a little bit more backing, probably do better than he has done this season. So for continuity's sake and to build on the success he had last season and this season, I think it's just wise to allow Xavi to continue instead of bringing somebody who will take the team back to square one and then they will continue building. And to answer the question directly, if teams eventually go south next season, again, it will still be part of the process. Because give or take, this Barca is not a finished article. For Barca fans who are hoping to win anything tangible, either in Europe or in the league in the next 1 year, I think they are just joking. You guys will have, this thing that is happening to the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea, and the other guys in the English Premier League is also applicable to Barca in the La Liga. It's just Barca are just fortunate that they are playing in a league where you probably have 3 or 4 teams competing for the title, and that's why you won't see them drop as low as 8, 9. Because if you were to be in the English Premier League, they're probably be in the position where Chelsea are at this point in time. But that's a conversation for another day, because Barca fans will not agree. But then, if you take a look at the indices that Barca,
the La Liga lovers,
8, 9, 10, you probably say, yes, these guys merit to be where they are. And in fact, Xavi is even pushing them above where they are supposed to be, because the mediocrity in that team is on 100. They're mediocre at this time. They're just living on past glory, on the name, the pedigree, everything. In terms of current form right now, I don't think they're anywhere close to the top teams in Europe.
Right, Pius, you talk about mediocrity right now. It starts from where?
The coach.
Of course, it doesn't start from the coach. It doesn't start from the coach, because the coach wasn't the one who put the club in this mess. Let's look at where the mess started from.
Okay, the management.
From the top.
It started from the board.
All right, okay, Pius, I'll take
So
that.
just a quick one.
Not the coach.
Pius.
The coach is just as good as the players you give him at his disposal. The coach is good as his equipment. I mean, if you take Pep Guardiola to a team like Girona, he won't win the league.
But this is not a Girona. This is not Pep. This is not Sheffield United in the Premier League. He will win the league. All right, Pius.
I don't want us to.
The necessary arsenals, and you can't blame the coach for the problem.
Pius, just a quick one. My question is, when Pep Guardiola left Team B, who was the coach and what did he win before Pep?
Yeah, I mean.
So yeah.
I didn't get the question.
In Barcelona, who won the league before Pep got in?
In Barcelona?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
No, the thing is this, Chris, Pius, hold on. The thing is this, we know Rijkaard, he left the job and Guardiola came in, but this team, there's been a lot of, we're talking about
We're trophies won before Pep.
No, we're talking about 20 years ago. Football right now is different from football has changed. There's evolvement. What happened then? You can't be risking telling us, because Pep Guardiola did it with La Masia and he was successful with Barcelona. And the same thing is going to happen with Rafa Marquez. Football has evolved.
Larry,
this is over a decade we're talking about.
Larry, we're talking. You see, one thing in life is, you see, things that happen will always happen and always keep happening in the right way. If you were the board of Bayer Leverkusen, you never have given Xabi Alonso the chance because he came from where? Team what?
Yeah, he came from Team B, and he also coached in La Liga, Real Sociedad, yes. From Team B, then he coached Real Sociedad, then to Germany.
How long did he coach in Real Sociedad? He didn't do anything with
He had the first experience in the top flight league in La Liga. That's different.
It's not different. So what we say now is, what I'm trying to say, just a quick one, that if you don't give that man that chance, you will never know his capacity.
What about the chance given to Xavi right now?
No. We talk
to counter that. Let's be realistic. To counter that, let's be realistic. They will look at the other teams that have approached from this same scenario. They will look at Man U's scenario that have approached it from that same point of view.
Okay.
They will see how it has gone so bad for them.
How?
And these were teams that were even able to spend money in the market.
Man U's case is a different issue.
Chelsea.
Manchester United has a separate and unique
Chelsea
issue.
also approached from that point of
They
view.
will suffer for
They will stop. I'm telling you.
Chelsea approached from that point of view. They got a new coach. With the way they went.
Well,
they will think about that. That's a risk.
Guys,
you can't afford to take.
I want us to wrap. Let's wrap up on this Xavi Barcelona issue.
You can't.
I'm not wearing I don't want to wear my Barcelona jersey on this podcast. I don't want to wear my Barcelona jersey on this podcast. But my thing is this, Pius. As a coach, let's talk about our normal life. You understand? You said, you want to leave something because you feel if you leave that thing will be better without you, and you will be better without having that thing.
Well,
that's just this summary.
Maybe I'm toxic though.
Maybe that's this. That's just the summary of Xavi's announcement. He said, I can't quote him now, but he said that's what I deduced. He said, I want to leave, and I feel this team will be better without me, and I'll also be better without this team.
Yeah, Pius already answered that aspect. The emotional attachment angle and all of that. That has been answered already by Pius. So which is valid?
Right. But the thing is, the journalists, the press, the fans, Xavi being the coach of Barcelona, he should just be ready for next season.
Definitely.
The pressure is going to be higher.
Exactly.
Obviously.
That's
where I want to go.
Marquez is the Barcelona coach for next season. I'm telling you, guys.
I don't think it will last the next 6 months. Let's see.
Well, this is Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV, and you are watching. My guys have been here, and I'm having Pius here as always, and Chris is here, Sammy is here. I want us to look at the brighter side of Xavi Hernandez. This is a guy that him staying now. Some of the players will be happy.
Yeah.
Talking about the players he brought in, the likes of Pau Kubasi, Yamal, Fermin, Casado, and the likes. So we're looking towards bringing in the La Masia, which we've known. There's going to be development.
Yeah,
so that's on the brighter side. That's 100%, because this is what Barcelona have been launching for, and they got it from Xavi.
La Masia has never been found wanting in that aspect anyway. No, sincerely, because you're always there to produce. You're always there to give the players to the team. So I respect La Masia for that. Any day, anytime. I think Cucurella too was from La Masia.
Yep.
Berlin.
Why don't you pay respect to ours as well?
Who?
Are you kidding me?
Who's that?
Our academy.
Your academy?
Yeah.
So what is what?
Jeez,
Come on,
please,
we've sold more players than La Masia. Are you kidding
Well,
me?
moving on, Chelsea guys. Moving on. Let's round up on this Barcelona issue. So, what do you think should change going to next season? Because Barcelona, the league has been won. Real Madrid champions of La Liga. Barcelona out of the Champions League. They lost. I mean, the last 3 matches the most important matches in this season. They lost it with what? Some crazy errors from the players. You understand? So, what do you guys think should change next season?
I think for me, I'm looking at Barcelona as a team. I think basically what they need to change for is the medical team.
Because everybody just get injuries.
Sincerely, they need to change the medical team.
Well, I mean, it's not just Barca
not
suffering. Yeah, it's not just Barca suffering injuries. Like Chelsea
It
suffered
happened to us.
injuries.
Can you remember when it happened to us? We have to change ours. Can you
Now,
remember?
taking out
Man,
the medical team,
Yeah.
it's not still going to solve the problem. Because now, let's look at the percentage of the players that have been out on injury. We talk about Pedri and Xavi injury.
Christensen plays 2 games out.
But there are still some core players that can. I mean, they
Like
lost. It's not, Barcelona were not out of the Champions League because of these injured players. They didn't lose the league because of these injured players. They lost. They were at the quarterfinals of the Champions League to progress to the semi-final based on stupid errors. That's what I mean.
Yeah, which comes
In the El Clasico, the first leg, Barcelona dominated the game, but they lost the game at the what? That's where I'm going to. The mentality. We talk about the team being a mediocre of themselves, which PIUS also mentioned about. That's what I'm saying. I mean, as a player, as a coach, talking about Xavi is. I mean, I'm not lashing on Xavi.
I'm happy you brought that
This
up.
season, 88 yellow cards. Xavi. This is the record of Xavi as a player. Xavi Hernandez as a player, 828 games, 88 yellow cards
As a player.
as a player.
But as a coach.
That is 1.94 per games as a player. But Xavi Hernandez as a coach, in 132 games, 24 yellow cards. That is 1 yellow card every 5.5
How many red cards?
games.
How many red cards?
This is what we're talking about. He needs to calm down. He needs to learn.
But that goes down to this emotional attachment, though.
Now, that has nothing to do with the emotional attachment with the club. It has a lot to do with
It has a lot to do
the
with
game.
With the game
How
as
do you
well.
manage the game?
In the game against PSG, Barcelona were down to 10 men. Xavi was red carded. Even with 1 man down,
We've seen
as
teams
a
win games
coach
without.
on the sideline,
Uh-uh.
the instruction might still be useful to the players, but there was no one. There is no leadership. I mean, we all know Barcelona don't have that leadership is not there. I mean, look at the game against Girona yesterday. You were grinding 2-1. You were in front 2-1. Stupid errors happened. Fine, football. This is the game we love. Errors will come.
Yeah.
Then the team needs to what? To just rise up to the occasion. Let the mentality to be what? But Barcelona have 0. They lost the game. They conceded 2 goals within the space of 10 minutes, and they lost the game 4-2. We have the coach. The players are there. It says a lot about this team. That is why I'm saying, forget about the fact that the board are not giving Xavi money to spend. The finances
Now,
is there.
yeah, now you understand where.
You as a coach, there are some things we need to see in you to get. I mean, anyways, guys, let's move on. This is Gold Rush Football
Marquez
Podcast.
is my coach.
This is Gold Rush Football Podcast, and then I've been having fun with my guys. Guys, let's talk about the Champions League and let's end this podcast. Next week we have the semi-final of the Champions League, the second leg. The first game is going to be played. The first game is going to be played on Tuesday, which is PSG and then Borussia Dortmund at Parc des Princes. The first leg ended 1-0 in favor of Borussia Dortmund. Going into the second leg, guys, PIUS, what should we be expecting? PSG, Dortmund.
Oh, well, honestly, I feel so sorry for Borussia Dortmund because they had the opportunity to take the advantage. I would say more advantage because they had opportunities in the first leg. They should have scored more than 1 goal in that game. I mean, they had chances. They were missing chances upon chances.
Right.
I like the way they play. They really pushed Jadon Sancho, Karim Adeyemi, Nicolas Fulkrug.
Sancho turned into prime Messi. or prime Maradona.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the clinical edge in front of goal was where they didn't get it all right, and I don't know if it will come back to haunt them in the second leg. But of course, we saw what PSG did against Barca in the second leg of their game. If they're able to replicate that, maybe they might be able to tie the corner. And of course, Dortmund will be made to regret all of the chances they missed in the first leg of this encounter. But if Dortmund comes to the party, if they continue, if they play the way if they give it to PSG the way they did in the first leg, I think they should. If they can take their chances also, they have enough to ease out at this PSG. Because I was a little surprised at the PSG I saw in the first leg. I thought that they were going to, bring all of the Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele fire, but to my surprise, they were begging back and allowing
they did convert their chances.
To take the play. Hopefully they are not able to do that for the fans at the Parc des Princes, and I think it's going to be an head-to-head encounter. We will have two attack-minded teams go at each other, and of course it will be a case of who can take the chances, who can put the ball in the back of the net more. Of course that team will progress to the finals.
So, who goes through PIUS? Between PSG and Borussia Dortmund.
Difficult to predict, but just because I actually like the way they prosecuted the first leg. It will be difficult. It will be difficult. Don't feel whether they're going away from home. Because if you take a look at the way they've been playing, talking about Borussia Dortmund, their game against PSV, they were woeful away from home. But of course, the second leg, that's where they wrapped things up. In against Atletico de Madrid also, they moved away from home. When they came back in the second leg, at the Signal Iduna, they wrapped things up. But in this situation, they played at home first, and now they are going away. If you recall the first two games I mentioned, they played away first, and then they wrapped things up at home. But in this situation, they've played home first, and they are going away second leg. It might be difficult for them. I would slightly give it to PSG.
Chris, Borussia Dortmund came from the so-called group of death. They are very useless in the league. The team that played the Bundesliga, they always stay in Germany anytime they are playing the Champions League. They qualify from that group of death. Now they are in the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League, which no one, even they themselves, I'm so sure they will be wondering that, come on, we are right here. Who's going to take this? Is this going to be Borussia Dortmund all the way to the final, or it's going to be Kylian Mbappe show?
Because for me, I pray to see an all-German finals.
Okay.
Dortmund, Bayern Munich finals.
That's a repeat of the 2013, right? Yeah.
In front of the English fans,
to upset the English fans.
It's just been salty. So we know Arsenal didn't make it.
and in that line,
so we know
we have a Hurricane lift up. In as much as I don't like Tottenham, he's not a Tottenham player anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys should understand that Hurricane is a gunner player.
Do you know if you have
collected money?
Do you know
Hurricane?
Do you know if you have all German final?
You know that, right?
Chris, let me hold this.
That's story for the gods.
Yeah, so that people don't it's Tottenham.
If you have all German final,
that's story for the gods. You never won any trophy for us.
If you have an all German final, you're still going back to your point. Bayern Munich and Dortmund, at Wembley.
Yeah.
That says a lot about what the Farmer League is all about.
Yeah, already they're going to have 5 teams in the Champions League next season.
So we all know the so-called Farmers League, right?
Yeah, and what about the farmland La Liga?
Go ahead with your point. Go ahead with your point, right?
So I think they will take the day, because
who's going to take the day?
Dortmund.
Where?
Because in
Parc des Princes.
Hold on, let's
now the reason being that most of them gave a watch, like Pius said. Both have done well in their second
games, yeah.
But this time around, who's going to be more conservative defensively is what will matter. PSG right now, they are not good defensively. All they have going forward is attack.
Immediately, Jadon Sancho found out that Mendes na my bolo. Since the first minute, he just didn't enter him. Jadon Sancho discovered that at the early stage. And since then, he's just going through Mendes.
I've noticed what happened in that game. Adeyemi was on Hakimi.
And he was
except for one time.
Yes.
Except
Like,
for one time.
He lost that.
Becky covered like boom, boom.
Now, if you notice, so, and you guys keep forgetting some. Luis Enrique is the coach of PSG. He will always.
Yeah.
Do you understand? He will always.
Okay.
That's my take. So.
What do you mean? So the fans that
He
don't
always goof. Enrique is Enrique. So I see Dortmund.
And this is a man that has won the Champions League with Barcelona. He won the treble with Barcelona.
This someone. Dortmund is just going to have their day.
Well, I think
Dortmund is going to have their game.
I think on that matter, I choose to disagree because PSG had the chances. They created the chances.
Yeah.
There were clear-cut chances to
But
score.
they missed it, yeah.
Yeah, but they chose not to convert those
But
chances.
they didn't choose not to.
They were unlucky.
They could have gone 2-3-0
Yes.
up in the first leg. Dortmund
Like
should
even
have-
at Signal Iduna, where Dortmund has been strong so far in the Champions League, PSG could have killed them at their home.
Even Dortmund, Madrid away. Even Dortmund, PSV away. The same way PSG was the same way they lost chances.
Yes.
Last minute they could have even sealed that game 2-2 in Madrid.
At PSV.
No, in Madrid.
Yeah.
So it's not like they didn't have the chance. Not like they didn't play football out there, but they just didn't convert their chances. So I don't see them going to sit back in Parc des Princes. No,
They want to come out and
they
play.
will come out.
Okay, no, that's where I disagree with you. Because Dortmund will sit back.
No, they never do.
So Sammy, let's make a reel right here. Let's do reels. Who takes this? PSG or Dortmund?
PSG.
With all this.
PSG, a story is yet to be written. And this storyline will be Kylian Mbappe faces his next team, Real Madrid. Come on, what are the odds of that happening?
So, and then at the end of the day, who picks it?
I mean, Real Madrid is winning this
All right,
trophy.
no, let's
anyways.
go there.
Well,
Let's
Real
go-
Madrid
let's
is
go to the
winning this.
second- let's go
Wait,
to the second game.
why are we arguing?
All right.
King Jude Bellingham.
All right, Chris. Let's go to the second game. Bayern Munich and then Real Madrid. We saw the first leg. Also, the Bayern Munich, when you go to Champions League, they take off the clothes of the Bundesliga. They drop it somewhere. They put on the Champions League.
Story for the gods.
They put on the Champions League
I mean,
jersey.
if they put on the
So,
Champions League jersey, why
Sammy-
didn't they win that game?
Sammy, so the first leg, we saw what happened. They were in the front. They shouldn't allow that goal to have happened. The costly error from
when you have a defense
Hold
of
on,
Kimi
hold on,
J
hold on.
and Eric Dyer, what do you expect?
I mean,
like,
they
come
held up to a
Come
particular
on,
point.
come
It was
on.
that error from Kim Min-jae that gave the penalty, and Real Madrid
Kimi J was
got-
sloppy all through that game.
yeah.
He was sloppy all through the game.
and Real Madrid got they tied the game 2-2. We saw some good performance, individual brilliance from Bayern Munich. We know what these guys can bring. Leroy Sané on a very good day. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just his consistency
So
that has
is
been
Vini.
questioned of late.
And Gnabry is back, so they're
Gnabry
going to
is
have both
back.
on both wings. Gnabry
And
on
the first leg again,
right.
we saw, excuse me, we
Let's
saw Musiala,
Eshin.
very, very good.
Eshin.
We
He
have
was good in the take-on, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Cruz is
But
available.
again, these guys are coming to Santiago Bernabeu, where the last time I checked,
It was
they
3-3 with Man
they
City.
always close roof to play. I mean, who cares about that? This is Real Madrid. They've just won the La Liga.
Barcelona cares.
They've just won the La Liga. They are the king of this competition.
Yes.
And when they hear the anthem of the UEFA Champions League, their
Yeah.
adrenaline is always on the high. Who takes this, Chris?
Bayern Munich.
Real Madrid.
Well, I'm trying to make a reel. So you saying Bayern Munich taking this? Are you not considering the fact that Real Madrid have one of the best? I mean, one of the very intellectual player up front, fast and very technical in Vinicius and Rodrigo at the Santiago Bernabeu. This guy can kill you at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Definitely. And you also have Harry Kane. Right?
Wait,
Harry
apart from-
Kane, Harry Kane, with his experience, knows how this should be done.
Okay.
Wait, what experience? Champions League final, Champions
He has
League
played Champions League
experience.
final, yes.
No.
He has played Champions League
How many semi-finals has he
Sammy,
played?
hold on.
How many semi-finals
let him
has
make
he
his
played?
point.
It doesn't matter.
Come
It
on,
doesn't
you
matter.
played semi-final once and you got
It's
that
about
experience.
It's about playing
You
tournaments.
got that experience.
It's about playing tournaments, not just the Champions League.
And he's the captain of the English national team.
It's not like in soccer, I would say, senior player.
Senior man.
Senior man. Right? If you notice, even against Arsenal, he didn't stay up front. And that's something he does very well. So you see players like, fortunately, Gnabry is back. So you're going to have Gnabry on the left
side
and have Sané on the right. So two people that will ensure that Lucas Vázquez
Cavaja will be back. Cavaja is back.
Cavaja.
Yeah. So
if they move, be ready to get those balls up front.
But we all know Real Madrid,
So now we know how Real Madrid works. We have
they soak up the pressure.
so-called pressure, they not soak up and all of those. Just a little counter-attack and boom.
They kill you.
And of course, before you know it, if they can't lock you, they get the experienced man Modric to do what he knows how to do best. But bro, this is the Champions League semi-final.
So you feel...
And they have both experienced players. You have Thomas Müller who can also damage anything at any point in time.
Well, I didn't see any damaging coming from Müller.
But that's the thing. Did you watch that? Thomas Müller did not play top that day. God bless you. So that you see, for Thomas Müller to have played in that game to that time, bro. You see, sometimes what you want is like
related issues.
No, against Arsenal they had the same injury, more injuries against Arsenal. But guess what? He started on the bench.
So my problem here is you said Bayern Munich is going to go through. PIUS. My thing here is this. Going into the second leg. I mean, the first leg we saw Kim Min-jae and then Eric Dyer. Who talked that? Nobody thought Eric Dyer will ever be the defender for Bayern Munich. But right now, if you see a Bayern Munich list for the first 11, Eric Dyer is number 1 right now. Coming from last season, Bayern Munich had Upamecano, they have Mathis de Ligt. These guys are unreliable. Injuries back and forth.
They've been on the bench.
And we all know, Upamecano had injury. But going into this game...
No, it was on the bench against Arsenal. It was on the bench
Going into this game now, PIUS, with the way with the way Kim Min-jae's performance, do you think it's going to be in the right sense to start Kim Min-jae in the second leg if Bayern Munich really wants something? Don't forget that Upamecano too is also prone to errors as well. We all know that.
Been on the bench.
So if you are the coach right now, are you still going to give Kim Min-jae the second chance? This is a defender. This is the best defender in Italy last season. PIUS?
Well, first of all, I think, especially you, Larry, you have really overflowed the best defender in Italy last season. Simply because he won the league with Napoli, and
and that's the fact. We all know this guy was the best defender in Italy. Kim Min-jae, 100%.
Koulibaly was the best defender in Italy as well. He came to Chelsea and flopped.
That's even on the team, on the basis of what he did with the team. Kvaratskhelia was the best player in the whole of the Italian football last season. This season, I'm not sure he has scored up to 5 goals. Victor Osimhen was the highest scorer in the whole.
No, God, there, senior man. Where you want go? PIUS, matter where you want start. You know, go feel end them. No go, no touch down the anointed.
Touch not the anointed.
This man, what's his name? Frank Anguissa also played in midfield for Napoli last season.
All right.
I mean, these guys. My point is, I think most of all these players, I think it's just the euphoria of Napoli won the league. That's why, because to be honest, Kim Min-jae is just average. He's bank average.
He's an average.
He's bank average. I think Eric Dyer is also bank average. So unfortunately for Thomas Tuchel, he doesn't have a choice. Because I remember Dayo Upamecano, the game he started sitting on the bench was when he got red carded in back-to-back games. He got red carded in the league. The next week he got red carded in the Champions League.
Right.
Back-to-back. So after that game, Thomas Tuchel said, it's okay. Just, he doesn't have a choice. He's still going to play Kim Min-jae and
Eric Dyer.
because the man does not have a choice. Now to the game we are talking about, the Bayern Real Madrid game. I don't think Real Madrid are that spectacular. I don't think they're that fantastic.
Oh yeah,
not because they don't have the quality of players or they don't have the squad, but I think the way the manager always set up his team against attack-minded teams is something to worry about.
Because one day, monkey go market, go come back.
But
no, because he would allow you to have the ball. That's what he did with Manchester City. In fact, for the better part of the second leg against Manchester City, the 11 players were capped in their own 18, not in their half. In their own 18. Sometimes you see 9 players in the 18. Sometimes you see 8 players in the 18. Camped in Real Madrid's 18, defending all through. That's the way Ancelotti has. In fact, if you watch the first leg against Real Madrid, okay, they got the first goal off nothing. It came off the assist from Toni Kroos, caught Vinny Jr., and of course it was a goal. But if you take a look at the way Bayern played it after that goal and towards the second half, they pushed Real Madrid back into their 18. And for the better part of those games, Real Madrid were playing in their own 18. But unfortunately, again, Bayern were doing all of the playing, but they were not creating clear-cut chances. And the ones they were creating, they were not taking them. I think Real Madrid are beatable because if Carlo Ancelotti plays that way, I think he would do anyways. And then you have guys like Jude Bellingham, who actually was lost in that game. I think Bayern should be able to take their opportunities because they have exciting players up front. Players, look at the second goal, Leon Sané scores up nothing. Solo goal. So they have players who can actually take that initiative and, of course, create something out of nothing for themselves. But then the problem would now lie at the back because if you don't take your chances, if Real Madrid catch you on the break, you don't have defenders who can actually cope with these guys. That's the problem. Yeah. The defenders, look at what Kim Min-jae did towards the end of the second leg. He could not cope with the pace. I think that was Rodrigo, or who did he bring that in the 18?
Yeah, Rodrigo.
Cope with the pace. You have to bring the player down. So that's my worry for them. So I think both teams do have their own advantages and disadvantages. It's left to be seen. But I think on the basis of the fact that these guys are playing at home and they have also mastered this competition very well. They also have experienced players who can do the job for them. I would give it to Real Madrid on this one.
So you're saying you're going to have Real Madrid and a PSG final?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a short thing.
Like I said, all German final.
He said
all German final.
Yeah.
Sammy?
It's Real Madrid, PSG.
So like I was trying to what do you call it?
PIUS.
Chipping PIUS. This guy is back from injury, Matthias de Ligt. So it might be
start, yeah?
Yeah, it might start instead of
best Bayern move in terms of central back is still de Ligt and Eric Dyer. Those are the best 2 options. You partner anything else, you're dying. Even with those 2, they're still dying.
Going to be a problem. All right, guys, this is Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV, and thanks for always supporting the brand. Thanks for your likes. Thanks for your comments. Please, let's make it interactive. As much as you drop your comments, I'm always responding to the comment as well.
Come on, you Blues!
At the end of this season, there's gonna be Chelsea fans. I would like to end this podcast, but I wouldn't end the podcast. If I should end this podcast, Chelsea fan will not allow me to rest. So let's just talk about Chelsea.
Come on, you Blues!
So, but before
PIUS, do not forget, Tuchel has never lost in Bernabeu.
So, but before we, I think we've stopped that. Before we go to Chelsea, let's just have let's have a recap on the way the league, one of the most entertaining league, because some people call it the best league in the world. Yeah,
it is the best.
Some people say it's one of the most entertaining leagues in the
world.
I'll say. Some people call it one of the entertaining league in the world. Let's talk about that. Talking about the EPL, guys, we see how it's going. We have 3 matches to the end of the season. The way it is right now. At the beginning of this podcast, when we started this podcast last year, we had predictions. Chris was here. Sammy has been here many times. Yeah. Chris has been here back to back. We've been editing our predictions.
I didn't edit mine.
We've seen a lot of some Liverpool fans. They'll be coming back next week. Yeah. We'll be having them on this podcast next week. So maybe they can edit their prediction because they already gave us their prediction. So
you can edit the edited.
Their eyes don't clear now. They are clear, not high. You know, so
I like that cleared.
Yeah, I don't clear.
so guys, who takes the league?
City.
Manchester City.
City.
Let's hear your top four
City.
now. Now your top four.
It still remains the same.
For the fans that are
sorry.
just watching
No,
this
no,
for the first time.
not the same, rather. But City still remains the same as winning the league.
Okay.
But then who comes second? It's Arsenal, obviously. Third, Liverpool, and then fourth, Chelsea. Come on, you Blues! Because Tottenham still have to play. Oh, sorry, no.
You said Chelsea.
Sorry.
Fourth. Ladies and gentlemen, please. If you are changing your dealer, make it next person. I mean, always look for stick with one buyer. Don't always change buyer every time because why will
the
Chelsea?
fourth will go to Aston Villa, rather.
Okay.
Aston Villa,
Okay.
and then fifth comes to Chelsea.
Okay. Still the same. I'm still on my. If
No.
your dealer.
Fifth comes to. Let me analyze.
All right.
Let me analyze.
Okay.
So Newcastle is sitting high.
Overcook.
Let me cook. Let me say. Let me talk.
All right. Go ahead.
De Bruyne. By the way, Newcastle is sitting ahead of us right now, based on goal difference.
Okay.
Based on goal,
And
they
Chelsea don't
have
score
22
today.
goals. We have 11 goals. So based on goal difference, and Newcastle still has Manchester United to play, Brighton to play, and I think the last team was Aston Villa.
Okay.
Let me confirm that. Yeah, they have Brentford, Manchester United, and Newcastle to play.
Okay.
There's no way Newcastle is winning
So,
all
but you
three
think Chelsea
games.
will win the rest of the
Yeah,
games?
we only have two. We only have 3 more games.
Okay.
And those teams that we're playing are teams that we will easily
So you think
trash.
Chelsea's going to have 9 points? And
Definitely.
Newcastle will falter.
We're getting our 9th point because we're
All right,
playing.
all right.
No. Wait. Watch this. We're playing Nottingham Forest.
You cannot convince me to
We're
believe
playing
what I don't want to
Brighton.
believe.
And we're playing Bournemouth. That's 9 points.
All right.
So, and Man U is never coming close.
Okay.
So we all know it's between Chelsea and Chelsea is going to finish ahead of Man U.
Okay.
Regardless,
So your
of how
top
the
four,
league
your top
goes.
four is.
So you're
Top
praying for Arsenal
five.
to beat
My
Man
top
United.
5. My top 5.
So you're praying for Arsenal to beat Man United. You're praying for Arsenal to beat Man United.
Chris.
No, Man U is never.
Chris,
Hey, come on,
this
Man
is
U is
one
never
thing-
going to beat Arsenal.
this is one thing about Chelsea
Arsenal
fans.
you won't beat Man U.
This is one thing
That's
about
going to be
Chelsea
a tie.
fans.
That's going
This
to
is
be a
one thing
tie.
about Chelsea fans.
That's going to be a
I
tie.
only asked for top 4. Chelsea,
Top 5.
Chelsea,
Top
They
5.
crashed.
Top
They
5. Top 5.
All right, Chris. Let's say your top 4.
Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and it's tricky.
Aston Villa.
It's tricky.
There's nothing tricky about that. How can that be tricky? Aston Villa.
Okay.
Aston Villa mathematically.
67.
All right, so
Yeah,
you're
Mathematically.
sticking
yeah.
with Arsenal winning the league, right?
Yes,
Obviously,
definitely.
what do you
7 to
expect?
60.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Uh,
And they still have
Pius.
Man City to play.
Gunners for life.
Wait.
Gunners for
we've
life.
talked-
Play, my
We've
fans.
talked about this a million times, So I want a reconfirmation of your.
By the way, Pius, how's Liverpool on your list going up? Is Liverpool still up there?
Unfortunately, Liverpool cannot win the league.
Because I remember the last time I was on this podcast, my last 2 podcasts, you were so hard and adamant about Liverpool winning this for Klopp. So it's still a shock to me that Liverpool.
So Pius, let's hear your top 4 now.
The fell off, and I think
A Liverpool fan is here. A Liverpool fan is also at the back listening to you. He's just scratching his head from quadruple to terrible. So Skamaka plastering their face. Skamaka too plaster them where come out club teeth. They are going through a lot anyways. If you see a Liverpool fan, just hug them.
Give them.
Pius, let's hear your top 4.
So the momentum is with Manchester City at this point in time. If they win all of their
Thank
games,
you.
they are champions. And at this point in time, you want to bet on them to win out their games because they've been here a couple times. I remember the last time I was talking about Manchester City loving it this way. They love this pressure. Wants to push them to the wall. They don't like winning the game, winning the league like 5 or 6 games to the end of the season. They like pushing. Guardiola is that kind of a man who loves competition. So I think it might be difficult because they have some tricky games. the Fulham, West Ham, and Tottenham.
West Ham is out of the conversation.
It's not. Don't take it.
Come on.
But go
All
on.
right. So you having Manchester City. You having Manchester City at the top.
The games Manchester City have to the end of the season. Sometimes I've said one of these teams will have them, but you probably want to say these guys know how to navigate their way through this game. So I would tip City to win the league.
Okay.
And of course, Arsenal will finish second. Liverpool will finish third, and Aston Villa will finish fourth.
All right, guys. That brings us to the end of this podcast for this week. Until we meet again next week. Thank you guys for coming.
Sorry.
Thank you, PIUS. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Sammy. I mean, Chris want to say something. I mean,
Yeah,
because we might not have you when Arsenal win the league eventually, right?
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, like he said,
Well,
I would definitely be there.
you definitely come back. Definitely. Let's hear from you.
Both Players Association.
The thing is, football is just a crazy game.
Right.
You know, let's not write off Liverpool.
Guy,
Yeah.
if I say,
No,
He's
guys,
just trying to get reaction.
No,
wait,
He's
listen,
just trying to get reaction.
guys, chill.
Sammy, let him.
Guys, chill.
Over-
Guys, chill.
Yeah.
Now, if football happens to Man City and Arsenal,
Okay.
will Liverpool win the league?
No. Football. If now we are saying if people there on top of you with 3 points, with 3.
No, that's not. Now, if Liverpool
win,
win, if Liverpool win the rest of their games,
okay.
right? And Man City loses their remaining games, Arsenal loses their remaining games. What happens? Win
So
they
what's
win the
the
league?
probability
I'm
that Man City
disappointed
will
this
lose
is
it?
coming from it.
There's no probability yet. See.
Like say,
Forget about
like
Arsenal
say,
fans.
you know the
Yeah,
collect paycheck
yeah.
from Liverpool
No, see,
fans. You are now if
No,
Liverpool
football is-
influencer but an
no,
Arsenal fan.
football is
We don't get
crazy.
you. No,
Football
no.
is crazy.
No, Chris is now an
Because
influencer for
this is
Liverpool
Liverpool
fan.
team.
Liverpool
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
He's now working with Liverpool TV as an
LTV.
Arsenal fan.
Yeah,
Ladies
yeah,
and gentlemen,
yeah.
this is how we are going to end the podcast because we've had a Liverpool influencer on this podcast as an Arsenal fan. So we'll meet again next week. PIUS, thank you very much for coming to the podcast always. I'll see you. Bye.